Bless you, Gazoon tight. That's the way to start it off, Gabe. We are live.
You didn't hit record right then. That wasn't the timing, was it?
Yeah, well, it says start broadcast, so I'm assuming it's just recording. We're on a little bit different platform today. I don't see a record button.
It should be, yeah. Google Hangout should automatically record that and publish it when we're done. So
That's what I thought. All right, man. Well, hey, get us started, man. Good to see you.
yeah, well, I'm excited to do this kind of this community training this week, and just to give you guys a little backstory. You kind of tell you a little bit about what we're going to cover today in this abundance webinar. It's Earth Day. And so the timing of Earth Day and the Abundance webinar, I think, is a good timing, Zach. But we had some questions come up in the group, so here's what we're going to do today, guys. We want to, first off, we're going to take a couple minutes real quick just to celebrate those of you that posted on the leaderboard that are having success. And part of our intention and our purpose for this hangout today, and we're on a little bit different platform than the webinars, because Zach and I want to come out here and want to come face to face and have kind of a heart-to-heart conversation about a really important topic in your business, which is not just your mindset, really the lens that you look at your entire business through. Is it a scarcity lens? Is it an abundant lens? And so we have some kind of questions we're going to go through and talk about the future of the group and some really cool things today. But before we get into that stuff in the abundance conversation, Zach, I just want to take a second here. You want to jump over to the leaderboard here, and we just want to give some props. Do you want to maybe pull that up, Zach, and kick that off?
Absolutely, man. And I'm just, but Gabe, if you want to, everyone in the group watching this, we have in our private Facebook group that, you all as members of the group, you have access to. We have a thread in there with the little person with the colorful brain, and it says abundance, like the abundant mindset. People can post questions in there today, and we can respond when we see your questions come up. So first of all, if you can hear us and see us, we just want to make sure everyone has access to this. Just please comment on that thread. And then, yeah, Gabe, if you can keep in that to make sure we're live and people are hearing and seeing what we're doing here. And I'm going to pull up the leaderboard again real quick. And yeah, that's what we're doing this for, man, for people to have success, to make money, see their dreams come true, fulfill their vision. So, yeah, we definitely want to recognize these people. And, if you have not posted your name on the leaderboard yet, we encourage you to do so. Even if you've only made one sell, like that's the most important sell in your online selling career. Because if you can do it once, you can do it again and again and again. And, everybody started with their first sell. So, we don't want this to like be a discouragement to people of like, if you're seeing people getting results of tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, like you shouldn't be thinking, oh man, everyone's doing awesome and I'm not, or I can't do that. Like, you want to say, if they can do it, I can do it. We're no different as human beings. We all have the same, same opportunity here in front of us. So in this group is designed to encourage you and to motivate you, to inspire you, to be a really good support group. So let's get into this here. So we have Bobby Nast. Nast got started with us not too long ago. Brand new seller on Amazon. He sold over $2,700 on Amazon. And he says this is just the beginning, smiley face. So way to go, Bobby Nast. That's awesome. Tyler Smith, again, brand new to Amazon. Already make $1,396 in sales on Amazon. Absolutely awesome. Robinson says he just started in January. We see a reoccurring theme. A lot of these people are brand new. You notice they didn't have to go through a 4-year college course to figure out how to sell on Amazon. Like they just hopped in, they went through training, they plugged in, taken action, and they're making money. So Ross Johnson, he's made over $5,200 in sales year to date, just starting in January. Aaron Tennyson, in his first 26 days, Gabe, 26 days, $2,600. Absolutely awesome. Julie,
yes, I think Aaron was brand new too, if I don't remember his story correctly. So
yeah,
and that's one of the reasons Zach and I want to share with you these success stories and just remind you, because it doesn't. A lot of people I think put these imaginary barriers that it has to be harder than it is, and it's really not.
No.
So, let's keep rocking, man.
Absolutely. We got Julie Wiseman. No clue for all time, but I'm guessing around $5,000. And I guess so too. Julie's an awesome team member in the group, always willing to just support, comment in the group, help people out when they need it. And that's awesome. Getting results too. Rashonda Bird, $736, started in mid-March. All right. Some of the items were merchant fulfilled, intended for FBA, but they couldn't send them in because of restrictions, LOL. So way to go, Rashonda, on pushing through and not letting that stop you and just selling the stuff anyway. So way to go. That's awesome. Dirk Lau. Okay, Dirk, we've considered maybe adding the different, I agree with you, like, turnover is important, the amount of sales volume is important. Most important is profit margin. But, we were trying to just keep this simple, just celebrate people for the sales they're making. So, I do appreciate the suggestion on there of trying to have 3 or 4 on the leaderboard. We might explore that down the road, but right now we're just celebrating sales. So thanks for the comment. And I think Dirk has done over $1 million in sales. He's done Amazon UK. He's starting on Amazon US. He's already crushing it on Amazon US. So way to go, Dirk. Absolutely crushing it. I'm sure I could learn a lot from you and other members in the group as well. Okay, let me see here. David Arnett. David just hooked us up with pliers on the shoes. A lot of you all have participated in that. Hopefully we'll have more coming soon. But over the past 30 days, he's done over 107 grand in sales volume. So way to go. And he started in August. So less than a year. I know he's making 25, 30% plus profit margins, making a multiple 6-figure income pace right now. So it doesn't take long. He started small and then just scaled up. And that's
so when did he start, Zach? I'm going to put this in perspective because do you know when he first started?
In August. Now, he did have some background on eBay. He had some connections. That's part of the reason, the connections he's built and developed over time through eBay. He just transferred some of those relationships over to Amazon platform and started getting the hang of the Amazon platform and just, started crushing it. And I'm grateful that, the same people he's getting majority of his product from, that he's making awesome sales with, he's given us that contact, and we're connected directly with them now. So, but yeah, August, man, August. And those results were April 15th is when he posted that snapshot.
That's crazy, man. That just goes to show what happens when you just take massive action, just put your head down and just get to work. So
absolutely. Jamie Swinka, our awesome support person that's going to be the glue that holds the ship together. Gabe and I just, we're pushing forward with vision to put all these things in place, but we definitely need help trying to organize some things on the back end and helping just take care of our members. So Jamie, instead of just doing support, Jamie's also crushing it on Amazon. She's done over 5,000 in sales volume, and she's just kind of doing it on the side. Like, she's not even full-time, just she's kind of been dabbling in it is what it appears. So way to go, Jamie. James Croswell, Amazon FBA, $5,143, started with books in November, then added toys in December and ramped it up. Seemed to be plateaued out at about $1,500 every 30 days running totals. I know it works if I do. Yeah. So that's
awesome, man.
That is awesome. And I love that comment. I know it works if I do. So, like, if you take action, if you do the simple things, like you said, Gabe, it's not difficult. Even retail arbitrage. I run to my local Walmart. I scan this little thing. I can get it for $5. Oh my goodness, it's selling on Amazon for $25. Okay, I'll buy it and send it in. And that's it. But you got to do it. That's the main thing. You got to do it. Go ahead. Yeah.
I was just gonna say we've got.
It just keeps going and going, and we have a lot of content to cover. So we can probably continue to recognize. Maybe we can do that anytime we hop on, because we could probably spend another 10 minutes or more just going through this.
Yeah, this is good, man. I wasn't expecting us to. I figured 5 minutes we'd probably bang through this, but we got about halfway through the list. So we'll stop on James Croswell. All you guys, awesome job, Jamie, James, everyone that Zach just mentioned. Congratulations. You guys are doing it. So we want to just honor you in front of the entire community, because you deserve the recognition and you've been working hard and putting the work in, and we want to recognize you for that. So you cool on pausing the second half of the list maybe for next week's
I guess, man. That's what it's all about, but that's cool. And that'll get people who did not see that list yet. Look for the leaderboard post in the group. And we just want to encourage you, whether you're you're crushing it. I mean, we'll tell people to respect you. Some of you guys that are selling over $1 million, because I know we have several sellers in our group that are doing over $1 million a year, and they might be thinking, like, I don't want people blowing me up if they know how successful I am, you know? So, you know, respect the people. If you see someone post like awesome results, like, don't 50 people blow them up and ask them to like start coaching. That's not the purpose of the leaderboard. It's just to celebrate one another. But whether you've made one sell, you know, some sales or a lot of sales, just go ahead and post so we can celebrate you all. So yeah, man, we'll conclude that on a different set. So
cool. Well, keep up the good work, guys. I'm proud of what you guys are accomplishing and going out there. And it's, you know, looking back, and, you know, Zach, when you got started 1.5 years ago, I mean, you created multiple 6-figure results your first year. And I really believe there's people that are in this group that are watching this hangout right now that are going to go past and blow past what you did last year, and, you know, just go way past those results. So, well, there's been a question that has come up, Zach, and guys, the reason we're doing this hangout a little bit different, there's been some questions that have come up. One of the things that we've had Jamie, and we're excited to have Jamie on the team working this week. Some of you guys have got phone calls from her already, and just to get some feedback on what's going to help you take your business to the next level. And there was a question, Zach, that came up, which is really leads into a bigger conversation about scarcity and abundance. And, you know, Zach, yesterday you and I started having a conversation on the phone, and it was a really rich conversation about this topic. And so we said, hey, why don't we just have a kind of community-wide meeting to really nip this in the bud? And one of the things that Zach and I talk about, we're constantly talking about ways to add more value, help you get to your goals sooner, faster, more efficiently. And one of the things we realized, you know, we established this community on a couple core principles: the education, the community, and the deals. We realized even with the best education in the world, the best community, the best everything, the best software, the best everything, you still come into this business with your old belief systems and old just beliefs in general that aren't serving you any longer. And sometimes it's very easy in life to kind of get in the space where you don't recognize this stuff even running subconsciously in the background. And so, Zach, the question that came up, and when people start with this, I'll ask you, we're going to do this real kind of informal, just a conversation in abundance today. But the question came up in the group of what's the max number of members that we're going to allow into the group. And there's another conversation about the deal. So, Zach, we had a chance to connect the other day, but that's one question we've been getting from a lot of the members. What's the, you know, I think we got 300 and something in the group now, where we're at now, and then what's the vision for where we're going?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a good question. It's a very valid question, because, you know I can see people coming in like with the mindset I used to have and where I used to be of, you know, you come into this thing, you might be new or brand new, or you might be selling for a while, and maybe one of the main reasons you came was for the deals, you know, and you see like, oh my gosh, there's 300 people, you know, Zach's only posting so many deals a day. How in the world am I ever going to get in on those? You know, and some people, like, I've been in the mindset before of like, you know, not even realizing it, but like, I want someone to do something for me, you know, like I would rather people give me fish and then instead of me going to fish, you know? So, and in the group, don't get me wrong, we're going to do both that, and we already are. But like, I can just see, like, if people get in and they're like, oh my gosh, if we can continue to grow, I'm never going to have a chance to succeed. I'm not going to get on any deals. I'm not going to make any money, you know? So I get that. But at the same time, you know, we just want to share the other side of that coin. So like, to me, what I see as it continues to grow, and I really don't believe we should put a cap on it. And, you know, I've said this all along, but there's a lot of new people in the group, so you might not have heard this. But there's power in numbers. Okay. So the vision is the same. It hasn't changed. The more people we have in the group, the more buying power we have as a group. Okay. And just so people know, like, over the last, Gabe, I don't know if we can do anything else. I see people saying they can't access the webinar. I mean, some people are saying their link is saying it starts at 1 o'clock for some reason. So I don't know. I think someone might just have to watch the replay. I don't know how to, I'm not a Google tech, but I set it for noon on my side. So anyway, I don't know if you can do anything.
I'll check the group and see. Thanks, the link that you put in there worked on my end, so we might just have to have a replay. So let's just keep rocking.
All right, man. So anyway, you know, what I was getting at is, you know, over the past, even like since January, I know that we've done probably over like $500,000 worth of sellable inventory on Amazon. Like, that's what we've offered to the group, and people have purchased those for resale. So that's like over $500,000 worth of deals have gone through the group, you know, just in a little over the first quarter. And that's, you know, day. and weekly. All right. So like we're building up, but what I wanted to get at on the strength in numbers is like, if you put yourself in my shoes, when I call suppliers, I'm explaining to suppliers, look, we have a group of people that are selling on Amazon. I'm helping to do training, education, offering them products that they can purchase for resale on Amazon and eBay. And, collectively, we all sell millions of dollars a year, worth of product on Amazon. And, out of the 300 in the group, about 100 are active, engaged. They purchase product for resale. Like when I'm having that type of conversation with a person saying I'm interested in getting their product to resell through this sales channel, like you can hear them on the other end. Their mouth drops. You can see they're just like they're thirsty for blood. They're seeing dollar signs. They're seeing opportunity. They're like, man, this is someone, like they can see benefit in doing business with us because they can see. So when I have that same conversation of, we have 1,000 people, we're doing over 10 million a year in sales, 20 million a year in sales, and we continue to increase and get up and say, look, on average, we spend, $50,000 per order buying product. That just gives a lot of leverage on bargaining, negotiating. We get top priority. Like I already have some suppliers that will, just because I've done so much business with them, like before they email their whole entire list a deal, like they'll let me look at it first. They'll give me a day or two and say, hey, Zach, see if you think you can move this. I wanted to share it with you before you send it to your, your whole group. During the fourth quarter, there might be times where we can get terms as a group, right? So terms like, they might say, look, like last year I was able to buy, some DVDs and some other items. And they're like, you can just pay within 30 days or whatever. Like my supplier's giving me terms for the fourth quarter, we can give you terms. So that like a lot of my product, it'll like already sold and I got paid on it through Amazon before I even had to pay my supplier for it. So like, things like this can happen in our group as we grow larger. Some examples outside of our group are like Walmart. It's like Walmart's huge. They're massive. When they're dealing with people with products and they're looking to get products to sell in their stores, that they have the same thing, that they have just all sorts of negotiating power. They're a huge, massive machine that does a sales volume. And so really, I mean, that's kind of what I'm looking at when I'm connecting with suppliers. And if you want to get connected with, the big name retailers, we can explain exactly what we have going on. We have our resale permit, a business license. I let them know, I'm all set up legitimately. We have good sales channels, good documentation backing up the product, showing we're authorized to sell. We can do more together than we can alone, because not many people in the group, with some big companies, like if you're wanting to go not only deep, like, 100 to 1,000 items deep on an item, but say you want to go really wide too. Like say you want to get 20, 30, 40 different items from Disney or from, some other big name brand place. Well, you might have to hit a minimum order dollar amount, like $100,000, right? So not many of us are just going to whip out $100,000 on our own. Yeah, or you might get up to several 100,000 or whatever. So that's like part of the vision of the group is just the buying power. So now the flip side of that, like some people can be worried and scared, like, there's a limited amount of deals or there's a limited amount of product. There's only so much product. Well, Amazon, their platform has millions and millions of products, and you have 30, 40, 50 plus different categories, millions of products. I had 20 to 30 regular products I kept stocked that made me multiple six figures. So it really doesn't take a lot, to make some income on Amazon, right? So, yeah, I mean, that's some of it, Gabe. I don't know if you wanted me. Okay, yeah. So we want to hit, one of the reasons, in the group, like we've done books, we've done shoes, we've done video games. We're continuing to expand it into different categories. But for those of you that don't know, like more goes on behind the scenes than me, like just looking at a product and saying, okay, buy it and resell it to the group. Like I want to analyze it. I want to make sure the profit margins are good. The sales rank's good. It can do good sales volume. I got to make sure it's authentic. I got to make sure we have authorization or good paperwork to back it up in case you had a complaint from on Amazon. I don't think it's authentic or it doesn't match the listing. And Amazon says, hey, we need some sort of paperwork showing that this stuff's legit or good. like, on the level that we're dealing with all these bulk products and all these people participating, like I really have to do diligence to make sure, we're set up right. So, it's got to be a win-win deal. I've shared before, I get hundreds and hundreds of emails daily of people slinging all sorts of product offers at us. And like 90 to 95% of them are junk. Like I personally would never buy it. So I'm not going to offer anything to the group that I wouldn't buy. So we're going at it at a methodical way. We're getting things in place. We got the book program launched. And so coming into the group, we're getting the shoe program launched. We're looking at getting different mini lots to where people can get in on shoe deals if they want to at a lower amount. I got some beauty suppliers dealing with, got, just different suppliers in different categories, video games, stuff like that. And so the goal is to continue to expand and build upon it. Like we see this as a long-term evolving thing to where eventually you'll have, 40, 50, 100 deals a day, like teams of people that are going out, connecting with suppliers, finding deals. They're getting paid on the deals as we offer them to the group when people buy them. So, to me, like, yes, I would love all this like done right now. I paid for it too, but it's like Rome isn't built in a day. And if you have a huge vision, like huge visions and big things don't just happen overnight. I mean, it's something you really have to build up. So, I have incentive, like I make money on these product deals that we offer, so it's not a lack of not wanting to do it. But like I said, me making money isn't the only thing. Like, yes, it's important for me to be able to provide for my family and reach my goals. But like, I'm not going to just make money at the expense of people. I don't believe in it. So I've got to believe in the deals. I got to believe they're good for every group member in here. And it's got to be a win-win for everyone. So, I'll kind of kick it back to you, Gabe. I think we talked about some other stuff we can kick back and forth, but I think that's a good start. I've been talking for a little bit here. So.
No, that's good, man. Yeah, we do have a list of a couple questions. I mean, we're going to keep this brief. We've got probably 4 or 5 topics. So the question that came up, though, and just to kind of summarize what you said, Zach, is there a limit on the number of people in the group? And the short answer is no. Zach and I have a big vision to grow, and as the network grows, our buying power increases as a group. Zach can source better deals. And it's the old adage that a raising tide raises all ships. So that's the first thing. We don't want to cap this group. There's some Facebook groups that are capped at 100 people, a couple hundred people. As we grow, and I think we're at 300 some members now, as we hit 400, 500, 600, 700, as that increases, that's just more buying power and better deals that Zach can get for the group. So that's the first thing, just to clear that up. And we're gonna add some more structure to the group. This is some of the things that we're working on with Jamie. Second question and really this is for those of you that have ever had the thought of, you see a deal posted in the group and it's like, is there not enough deals? So I want to talk briefly, and Zach, you already hit on this, about the deal scarcity. So if maybe you've seen some deals come in the group and you're like, gosh, there's 300 people in here. When Zach posts a deal, it usually sells out within about 5 minutes or so. And so, I mean, we've looked online, and Zach and I have talked about this. There's so much abundance on Amazon. I mean, there's millions of other sellers. Zach and I just looked up the stats, and we can maybe post this here. Amazon's doing somewhere between, they did $74 billion in net revenue in 2013, around $88 billion in revenue in 2014, and they're on pace to hit a high $90 billion or somewhere around the $100 billion mark in net sales. They're the number one e-commerce retailer in the world for a reason. So if you and I, and if we've got 300 people in the group, if we all had $1 million in liquid cash assets, and we could all purchase $1 million in assets, that's still only $300 million worth of product. Now that's product, and we're talking about product versus sales. But just to put that in perspective, that's roughly a third of 1 billion. So 1/3 of 1/90th is what our group would be, and we're just scratching the surface. So, one of the things that Zach and I want to be really clear, with you about, and the deals that, we founded this community on 3 things: the education, the community, and the deals. So the deals that Zach provides is really meant just to be the icing on the cake for you, just to kind of kickstart and get things going. Nowhere along this process, and I hope, I don't want you to expect that Zach's going to hand over a 6-figure or 7-figure Amazon business on a silver platter to everybody in the group. That's just impossible. So the deals that we provide are meant to kickstart your business, for you to really ratchet things up to the next level. This is where we get into the good part of the hangout today is your mindset and belief. You've got to be responsible for your own business and sourcing your own suppliers above and beyond outside of the stuff that we add in the group, because it'd be virtually impossible for us to source an unlimited amount of product. So that being said, I just wanted to help to stretch a little bit of what's out there. We're talking about, we're scratching the surface just alone with our group. And even if the group had 500 members or 1,000 members. Now, what Zach talked about too in the future, the conversations we have, our goal is to be able to provide more and more high quality bulk deals. And Zach mentioned the process that goes into sourcing those. So we're not just throwing up every little bolo like you see in some different groups of little purchases. It's a pre-screened deals that people are building six-figure incomes on. We've got books established, we've got shoes established, and the goal for the rest of this year and moving on for the next several years is to continue to duplicate that process in each of the different categories, so that a year from now, you can come in here and you can say, do I want some books, do I want some shoes, I want some baby clothes, and be able to have kind of that buffet. But we've got to scale into that. We don't, Zach and I very carefully work with the suppliers that come in for that. So the second question, Zach, anything you want to add to the and maybe this is the bigger conversation of scarcity versus abundance, but somebody that's here that maybe says is they kind of catch themselves saying, well, man, there's not enough deals. I can't get enough deals. What do you say to that person?
Well, I say two things. There's the old adage in you, you give a man a fish, he'll eat, he'll have a good meal, but then tomorrow he'll be hungry, right? So you got to keep giving him fish, or if you don't have one fish to give him, he'll starve, right? So once again, we're going to give fish in the group, as many fish as I can catch and as many as I can throw out, I'll be giving out, right? But more importantly, as get on the education, like, you want to be able to learn how to fish on your own, and we're training people and showing people how to do that. So I know some of the scarcity mindset that comes in is, well, what if we're all using the same sourcing methods, or what if we're all trying to find products the same way? And that's a good question. So let me for you. There's literally, this is the way it works. Unfortunately, I want to be careful how I phrase this. Okay. No matter if Gabe and I or other leaders in this group, there's some people in the group, and this isn't everything, right? And in every home biz op, no matter how amazing it is. I believe Amazon FBA is the most amazing thing I've seen. Gabe and I, a ton of stuff in this space: internet marketing, make money from home biz ops, home parties, you name it. We've probably done all of it, right? So Amazon FBA. So even though it's an amazing system and we have amazing education and we have the group, there's going to be some people that they won't go through the training. If they do go through the training, they won't take action. And unfortunately, that's why so few people succeed online when they do stuff, or in any business in general, or even offline in life. It's just because usually it's how you do anything is how you do everything. That will bleed into other areas of your life. All right. So we want to train you how to fish, and we can be cheering you on every day. Woo! When you get out of bed, go you. Today's going to be awesome. You're going to crush it on FBA. But unless you have here's the two big things we were going to hit on. You got faith versus fear. Okay. So faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen, or it's basically just believing what you cannot see. All right. And then you have fear, which is the exact opposite. You're scared of the unknown. You're scared of what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. It could be good or bad, but it doesn't matter, because you don't know what it's going to happen. So you're scared. You're not going to take action. And that's what will happen. People will go through the training and they might be thinking, oh my gosh, there's 300 people going through the same training. How am I going to find on my own? They're all going to get my suppliers. They're all going to get my products. And so it's just fear. Fear is just talking to your mind, and you're like, I'm not even going to attempt. I'm not even going to do it. Everyone's doing it. I'm not going to be able to find anything. Now faith would say, I'm going to be able to, there's millions of deals out there. I know this is just a platform. There's tons of niches, tons of different categories. I know that not everybody in the group is Bill Gates. Even if they do enter the same category as I do, they don't have unlimited capital. They can't invest millions of dollars into their business. So there's plenty to go around. There's plenty of sales volume. So, I'm going to make most of it. I'm going to, participate in deals when they come out in the group. If I feel it's good for my business model, and I'm set, financially, I'm not investing too much capital into any one deal because they've trained me that it's not good to put all your eggs in one basket when you're doing your inventory. So, if you just like apply what you learn, like there's always faith versus fear, right? So the more fear you have, what you're doing, like in the supernatural, if you will, or in the unseen, is you're planting seeds, in the spiritual of doubt, of fear, of worry. And what you plant in the spiritual manifests in the physical, like it appears in the physical. So like if you're getting, cruddy results, or you're not finding good deals or any of that stuff, then you might check your mindset. Is it negative? Is it consumed with fear? Or are you not taking action today because of fear? And I bet 99% of the time, that will be the root cause. It's going to be fear. Just any negative thing you do, or anything that prohibits you from moving forward and taking action. And also so this is for people who are succeeding in the business too. Like, we said, if you don't have this, you might not succeed at all. But even if you don't have this abundant mindset, then you're not going to be able to reach your full potential. So like just before this webinar, like I had someone message me and they went, Zach, I Amazon just like destroyed some of my product. They said that they thought it was hazardous and it wasn't good. I went to remove it. They wouldn't even let me remove it. They just destroyed like $2,000 worth of product. What am I going to do? And they're like, part of it was yours. And I'm like, that stinks. That's horrible. And it's like, so I could have crawled in a hole. I could have got mad or upset or angry or with Amazon, or just, I quit. That's it. If Amazon's going to steal my stuff and destroy it and I can't control it, then I'm not even going to sell on Amazon. But, but I chose not to do that. Like I trained myself to, I got to look at the big picture. That might be part of the cost of playing on Amazon's playground. Some things are out of our control. I just got to put that in. I can write it off as a business loss, and I just got to roll with the punches and move on. Like I can't, let that steal my joy and just my abundant positive mindset that I'm still going to succeed. So, a lot of you are in a place where you're succeeding, but obstacles that are coming your way in your business, like you're not handling them properly. Like you're just letting them eat at you on the inside. It's just driving you nuts, driving you crazy. And, it takes your energy, your thought process, the stress levels rise, your creativity goes down, your energy levels go down, and it's just not allowing you to be able. So, I kind of diverged. It relates to what we're talking about, but I know we were going to get into that sometime. I didn't know if you're ready to dive into that, Gabe, but it's connected.
Let me ask you this, Zach, 'cause I want to, I think a lot of people recognize the abundance scarcity conversation. I'm watching the Facebook thread here, so there are some questions here. Michael Lanigan, forgive me if you're butchering your name, once says that just to clarify, what I mean is the bigger this group can grow, the stronger we will be, and we need to realize that we have to grow on our own too. So you hit the nail on the head, Michael. Angela Thompson says, okay, I got it. We'll learn to source our own products too. So I think you guys are getting the message. What Zach and I wanted to communicate, and the reason we wanted to have this today was to kind of help you get an upgrade or a shift in your belief system, because a lot, whatever you came here for, we want to help you to grow bigger than your problem. So whatever little, you're going to have challenges, right? Starting an Amazon business, starting any business, you're going to have to find suppliers. This person's that's just life of an entrepreneur. Welcome to being an entrepreneur. If this is the first time, our goal is to empower you to grow bigger than those challenges, because when you break through and hit that 6-figure mark, you're still going to have problems. And Zach can attest for this. When you go through and break into 7-figure mark, you still have problems. And every multi-millionaire I've ever talked to, and every even the non-multi-millionaires that are completely financially free, you still have problems in life. The question is, how do you handle them? And it comes down to that one mindset. So you can be honest with yourself. Are you operating in abundance? That's my first question for you today. Are you operating your business in a spirit, in a mindset of abundance? Or are you operating your business in a spirit of there's not enough to go around, I've got to get mine? Check yourself, and it's okay to be honest. Just raise your hand, right? We've all been there. Zach, I want to talk to you about how do you make that shift. And I want to also talk to you, Zach, about what you just mentioned, which is the other side, which is being a victim versus being a victor. And when you have a problem that comes up, right? $2,000 worth of inventory, boom, goes up in smoke, it's gone. Two choices you can react to that situation. Are you going to be the victor, take responsibility for the situation, and move forward powerfully as the leader of your business that you are, because Zach and I nobody cares about your business more than you. I promise you right now. Zach and I care a lot about you. We care about your success. We're hiring staff to help serve you. We're reinvesting money into software to serve you. We're doing everything we can on our end. Nobody cares about your business more than you. And so the question is, when this stuff comes up, how are you going to react to that? So Zach, how do you've made this transition. I've made this transition from a place of scarcity as an entrepreneur to a place of abundance. And I don't want to share. I know you and I've had some privy conversations. You and your family, you've done well for yourself. There's not a lot of people that I know, and I honestly haven't had a lot of business partners that are liquid like you are and are fluid. I mean, you guys have resources, you have means. Zach, how do you make that shift? If somebody says, "Man, Gabe and Zach, I hear what you're saying. I want to think abundantly, but I don't got 50 grand laying around. I don't have 100 grand laying around." You got to start from somewhere. What does that person do? What kind of action steps can they take to help start to make that shift in their life?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we know there's Christians in this group, there's non-Christians in this group. So like I share from my own personal experience. That's the only way I can share. So the goal is not to offend you or say you can't be here if you aren't Christian and stuff. So that's not the goal. So if I'm quoting scripture and stuff, like I'm not trying to preach at you, but I'm sharing from my experience and what works for me. Okay. So, one of the principles that I believe works is a spiritual principle. It's a scripture that says, faith comes from hearing from the word of God. Because again, keep in mind, it's a constant battle between faith and fear, constantly in your mind. It's just a war that's waged in your mind. So, me, like when I can hear, like the word of God is truth. So like if I can hear true statements, if I can like listen to YouTube videos, have audios going, if I'm reading daily, reading out loud, just more stuff that's like truth and that's positive, that I can fill my spirit up, that I can fill my mind up with, that's huge. And then another thing that helped me was writing stuff out, writing my goals out, writing my visions out, looking at them daily, getting the picture in my mind, closing my eyes, singing in my heart, mind's eye, like the image of what I want our life to look like. Like, this is the home we want to have. We want to have land, these are the vehicles we want to have. This is what we want to do with, the rest of our finances beyond what meets our family's needs. And you just get a picture in your mind, of what that looks like. So that's huge. Another thing is eliminating negativity. Okay, a lot of you have people that you hang out with that are negative. They're not supporting your vision. They think you're for trying on sells. They might be from within your own household. They might be from without. If they're from within, you want to try to share the vision with them, and just ask for a 90-day window. Because I think if someone wholeheartedly focuses on this for 90 days, they'll at least create some results that will get their negative people inside the household on board with them. As they start seeing results and you can share positive with them, will help make believers of them. Now, people that are outside of your home and not in your household and you don't have to live with or be around with them, like, stop hanging out with those people. Stop hanging out with them. Gabe and I talked about this earlier. It's like, it's a dog eat dog world. It's the crab mentality of all the crabs in the bucket trying to bring one another down. So if you have somebody like you wanting change and wanting better in your life is making the person next to you feel uncomfortable, or these negative people uncomfortable. So like and so they're either going to react. You might be able to bring some of them up out, but somebody might be like, they're jealous, they're upset, they're envious. They don't want to see you succeed. Like, that's the last thing they want to see. Misery loves company. So they want you to stay right there with them. So that, and then outside of, relationships, you got like TV, like, the negative nightly news, you name it. Like, there's a bunch of garbage and stuff. Your eyes are the window of the soul. So like, you got to guard the things you see, the things you hear. Like, if it's just a bunch of negative junk, again, that's planting seeds in your life that is going to manifest itself physically in your life, and it's going to create you a lot of issues. So that's really what I did. If you can grasp onto those principles that I shared, those spiritual principles, and just take action on them, again, not only in your business will this help, but it will help with your health, your relationships, your money, relationships with kids, spouse. If you can put that much energy and focus into the other areas of your life, you can experience results there as well. So So I want to hit on that. And then I did see someone's question came up. I think a lot of concerned about this too. So I'm going to share this, Gabe.
Okay.
Someone says, my only concern is that too many of us end up selling the same product, creating a price war. Okay. So Angela, thank you for bringing that up. And so what I would say to that, like if you're applying the principles of what you're learning in this group, if that's a replenishable product, which normally it is if you're sourcing your own stuff, a lot of the stuff I get are closeout. Sometimes I'll get replenishable, and we're working on getting more replenishable items. But that's part of the reasoning behind starting small and scale up. So the less deep you go on a product, the less likely you are to have that happen. And what I mean by that is, like, if you find an awesome, amazing deal and you're concerned, well, right now it looks good, but what if 50 people end up coming in on it? Well, just test it out. Instead of buying 1,000 units, if you're able to, through your wholesaler or you're doing retail arbitrage or whatever, 10 units. And if you sell them pretty quick, then just buy 10 more units and keep sending them in. And then, you'll see over time, if more competition and more sellers keep coming in and they do the race to the bottom and they're killing prices and stuff like that, then, you can either be patient and wait it out until the low ballers are out of there and the prices go back up. We've seen that happen on a lot of products, but you got to be patient. Or you just pull out of that product and don't go with it. Now, so that's you sourcing on your own. Now group deals, we always do the best we can. Again, we're not perfect. Like, there's a lot of moving parts, but we learn from experience when we miss the mark, and we try to adapt and adjust and move on for the future. So on group deals, like, we try to see, okay, there's 2 FBA sellers on this now, and we know, this is a closeout item. We're being told 1,000 market. So this item's currently selling 20 a day through Amazon. So, like, if 5 of us come in and there were, let's just say, for instance, say there were only 5 FBA sellers, right? Like, 3 of us went in on it. So that means there's 5 FBA listing it selling 20 a day. That means we'll be able to move 4 a day. We should be able to all keep around the same price without, chasing the price down. So, like, that's some of what we go through on the analyzing process to see, is this a good deal to offer to the group? And yes, it is a good deal. How many people do we want to make it available to? And that's kind of why on some of these lots, like, when we offer it, we say you have to order at least 200, or you have to order at least 300, or whatever the number is. It's not to be mean, hey, we only want people with a lot of money. That's not the case. It's just we're trying to keep competition down on those listings. So, like, if we had 100 units and we let like 10 people get 10 each, then you got 10 people, sharing that, and that's once a day. Whereas if we only have like 5 people on it, then you'd have 2 sales a day, depending on the numbers of how much sales volume that listing's doing. So I mean, that would be my word towards that. And again, there's millions and millions of products. So I've sold on products that were hot for a long time. Like, I was making $20-25 profit per unit, and then over a year time, it just kept going down and decreasing. And it got down to like where you're making like $5 or $6 a unit. Same item I made $20-25 a unit on a year ago. But I continued to replenish and reorder. I was able to see what was happening on those listings. And you always want to be sourcing. You always want to be finding new product. You want to try to go as wide as you can on your inventory instead of just a handful to go deep on. That way, not all of your it's just kind of like a balanced portfolio in the stock market, if you will. Like, you don't have all your eggs in one basket. You're not just relying on this one product that you've been making bank on to carry all business. You want to spread it out so you don't have as much risk in your business if you do have a product tank or go under. So that is the way I view that.
So that's a really valid question. So this goes back to the abundance scarcity. So if you're looking at it and saying, oh gosh, there's only 4 people on this listing, go wide, go find some more products. There's this whole universe of Amazon FBA that we get to play in, and the one little corner of whatever sandbox with whatever little products that, all the deals that we're offering through the group, you just got to go out there and get some more. So with that being said, Zach, just out of curiosity, I've got a couple rapid fire questions for you that are just kind of came off the top of my head. What are when you say go and we want to teach people to fish, what are your top like 2 or 3 still today favorite go-to sourcing strategies?
Yeah, well, online, is easy. Like I know some people have had a lot of success. So if you're, let's say, okay, limited budget. Okay. So we'll hit a couple different areas. Okay. Limited budget would be, I would do either like retail arbitrage or online arbitrage, or even some of the Amazon to Amazon flips. So some people camp out on Keepa.com and they'll watch for, deals that come through on Amazon where there's a price discrepancy. If they normally selling it for 30, today they're selling it for 10. So people will buy it through their non-FBA, non-prime account and non-seller account. And there's limits on that. Like you can get 3 of them or 5 of them or whatever. And then, you can go small and wide and you can make decent profit that way. Okay. I kind of shared like on Walmart.com, like I know there was a limited supply of them, but that little Mario figure, like people could buy that Mario thing for like $15 and it was selling for like $60 on Amazon. Like that's a quick way to do it. So I still think limited budget, like retail arbitrage, going out to stores, brick and mortar stores, online arbitrage, those are probably some of the best. And then if people like doing the Amazon to Amazon thing, I know a lot of people that make money. It wasn't always my favorite method because that is one where sometimes competition can get wide because a lot of people use that method. So sometimes you have to be a little bit more patient doing that for your sales volume and for your inventory to turn. But those, okay. So on if you got money, more access to capital, I like I like connecting with people through LinkedIn. So like you can either connect with them on LinkedIn. It doesn't take that long at all. I mean, you go through so we have a training in the group. So you go to LinkedIn, you go through the groups, and just post, hey, I'm looking for suppliers that supply this. So if you're a beauty person, get in beauty groups in LinkedIn, beauty suppliers. If you're like other like clothes or whatever category, whatever niche you think you would like to sell in, you just join 10, 20, 30 groups and just say, hey, I'm looking for product to resell online. Please email me or message me your deals. And these people are excited because they're always looking for leads and they're wanting to offer their stuff. And majority of the stuff they send you will be junk, but you'll find diamonds in the rough and, a small amount that will be really good. And yeah, I mean, that's how you really good deals. Last one is eBay. Okay. So eBay, eBay, there's pros and cons to eBay. Okay. There are people that sell on eBay that supply have, good lines, good paperwork. They're authorized to be selling that product. They can resell it to people like you with no problem. Okay. Or they have good receipts or invoices if you ever needed it from Amazon. Okay. So we kind of go into that on the training. When sourcing on eBay, you can find some awesome deals, but just want to make sure that you can get good documentation if you ever needed it. So what you would do is, like, I'd maybe find the product, look in categories that are not high counterfeit categories. Like, don't be looking in DVDs or electronics or things that there's a bunch of knockoff, fake stuff. So look in good categories, maybe buy 1 or 2 items, show the people you're serious, and then send them a message and say, hey, look, I resell some of these products at times. If I ever like a receipt from you with prices whited out or an invoice or something, showing that the stuff's authentic and not counterfeit, would that be cool? And so just do it like non-intimidating or interrogating, and then people will tell you, no, I can't do it, or yes, I can. So if they say no, you just got to realize you're taking a risk on, if you ever ran into problems on Amazon, that, you won't be able to show verification of where the stuff came from. Okay. And then if you have good documentation, then, yeah, you can send that in. It's not always 100% guaranteed. Amazon will back it. And there's very few times you'll run into issues, but we've done so much sales volume and we're connected with people that have, that from time to time, you'll run into issues like that. Like, there'll be products that you can sell on Amazon. They're not restricted. Things are going awesome. And then you might be getting 100% authentic goods. It's good merchandise. It's not counterfeit. It's not stolen. It's good stuff. And then Amazon all of a sudden says it's restricted, probably because that manufacturer says, hey, we don't want your people selling our stuff on Amazon. Okay. Then you get some sort of authorization. So like I said, eBay is awesome. I love eBay because you can connect directly with suppliers that know people like us are on Amazon, selling on Amazon, and they're trying to sell some of their stuff wholesale. They're cool just turning it quickly for a smaller profit margin. And so you can find awesome people on eBay too. So those are kind of some of my favorite methods for finding product.
There you go, man. Well, I know these are all in the boot camp, and I was just curious, Zach. So the 5 things I just heard you say, I'm going to summarize that and summarize the other point for people that are taking notes and things like that. The five favorite. So Amazon flips, and you can use keepa.com, or there's another site called The Tractor, Tractor is another one. There's a couple of them out there. You can check those out. Online arbitrage. So Walmart.com, you can do a search in the clearance aisle online on Walmart.com, any kind of online or arbitrage. Retail arbitrage, Zach talked about, still scooping up local deals. And then the two, which are your favorite go-to bulk sources, are LinkedIn groups specifically for suppliers, and then eBay. So just out of curiosity, what are you searching for with the LinkedIn groups? When you go on LinkedIn, what type of groups, if you're in the beauty category, what would you search for? Like LinkedIn suppliers, LinkedIn wholesale, what would you look for?
Yeah. So yeah, just wholesale beauty or wholesale toys or liquidation or closeouts or stuff like that. So sometimes you'll find direct suppliers, but normally you're going to be dealing with brokers on there, which brokers are fine according to Amazon, as long as your broker can get a clean paper trail back to the manufacturer stating, that the stuff's authentic or you're okay to sell it, then you should be fine there. So and that's another word. Like, I know a lot of people do this, and I commend you for it because it's awesome and you can make really good deals on it. But we personally talked to Amazon, and we asked them all the sourcing methods we can do and what all is okay with them. And pretty much like, cool, everything's amazing, everything's lovely. The only problem you'll run into is if a customer complains. So we're like, okay, well, it's kind of like we were more knowledgeable on that topic from our experience. And we had multiple team members call Amazon and ask them that, and we got different answers back. So pretty much we put the pieces of the puzzle together. And so we asked, I know some people in the group, they've been doing this type of sourcing before they even came to the group. So they go to estates, to garage sales, to auctions, to thrift stores, places like that. You can find amazing deals, but I strongly recommend usually selling that type of stuff on eBay. And here's why: because if you buy a lot of the stuff from thrift stores or estates or auctions, and someone complains on Amazon that product's not legitimate or whatever, then you have no ground to stand on. Like you can get dings on your account. You can't send anything into Amazon. Like you can say, hey, I got this stuff at a garage sale, but they're like, well, how do we know it's not a counterfeit item from a garage sale? All right. So just, like people have had success first starting out with very limited budgets on eBay. Like Gay Lisby, you've heard her story in the group. Like she bought like some sort of vintage hat for like 99 cents. I don't know if it was a sweater type hat or what, but she sold it on eBay for like 70 or 90 bucks. It's just like
eBay or Amazon. She sold it.
eBay. So she got like a handful, like 5 or 10 items that kind of got her jump started, like just unique stuff at little thrift stores and stuff that she found for like pennies, literally, or like very low budget. And then she listed some of the stuff on eBay, created neat little listings, did auction style listing with a buy it now. So if people saw the auction going up and they were nervous they weren't going to win it, they could just click buy it now. And I think that's what happened on that hat. So for people with very limited budgets that find awesome deals using those methods, but eBay is a lot less strict on sourcing stuff, and which is good and bad. I mean, that's why can be a lot of counterfeit stuff on eBay, but also like if you're finding legitimate product that Amazon, might say, hey, you don't have good authorization or whatever to sell this. If you ever ran into an issue, well, you shouldn't have problems like that on eBay. So. Okay.
So all these pieces are just what I'm hearing you through your thread, Zach. All these pieces are just thinking outside the box. There's a million ways, and that's just some of your favorite ways to source stuff. So I want to bring back to and summarize the question I asked you before that, which goes into the deeper issue. The sourcing stuff, surface level stuff, getting reviews, all that stuff's just the technical how-to. The reason you guys have had success, Zach, you're crystal clear on your why. You know exactly what you're doing. I was going to surprise you and just grill you on that. You got clear. What you just said in the beginning, I asked you, how does someone transform a belief system that's from a scarcity belief? Maybe you grew up. I mean, I don't know how you guys can relate. I grew up in a middle class family, and I remember very specifically certain times growing up where it was just hammered into my head that like rich people are bad. and that it's like wasteful to be rich. I remember like my grandparents saw a guy in a Mercedes one time and said, "Look at that guy." And it's like, and so some of you guys maybe can relate to that. Maybe some of you grew up in wealthy families, that's foreign, but all I know is that all those conversations get buried deep in our subconscious mind if you don't address them. So what I heard you say, Zach, 3 things I pulled out of what you just said of how to transform those beliefs. One is clarity. Like get clear on what you want. I mean, you guys have a written down vision. Sarah and I have a written down vision for all of our goals. And I'll tell you guys what, and I'm going to challenge you to take a long-term approach to your business. Don't make a goal for the next 90 days. Make a goal for the next 20 years. Say how much money, how much revenue do you want to have flow through your Amazon account in the next 20 years? How many millions of dollars do you want to have flow through your Amazon account? The longer of a vision you can take, the greater your chances are of success and the more success that you're going to have. So that's the first thing. And write it down. And I'll tell you what, guys, I can't explain this. What Zach just talked about of writing things down, there's power in the pen. And I'm 32 years old. I'm still learning this. Zach, maybe you're wiser in this area than I am, but I've come to find in my walk with Christ, walk in the faith, that when I write things down, things happen, like mountains move. And I think it has something to do, like if you look, there's a couple scripture that I pulled up because that was the second thing that you mentioned, Zach. So clarity, number 1. Number 2, of just getting the good information in. Feed your mind, empowering. Listen to, if you're a believer, listen to Christian music, listen to podcasts, listen to what the Word of God says about you. Okay, because your belief system and identity, part of it's what you think about yourself. That's the lens. But really, that doesn't matter because the King of the whole universe that made you in His image. Right? In Scripture, it says in the beginning was the Word was like God, and the Word was God. I'm probably butchering that. We're made, Word is God, and we're made in the image of God, which means our word has the same power. And you can look in Scripture and find different places where Jesus says, when I leave, I'm going to send a counselor, and He will do these things and things greater than these. I don't know if you remember that verse. The Son of God talking about the things that we're going to do that's greater. I always used to wonder about that, Zach. Like what? Jesus rose from the dead in 3 days. The same power that rose Christ from the dead and left the empty tomb lives in me, lives in you. And what does it mean that we will do these things and things greater? Okay, doesn't that, when you hear that, doesn't that make your little goal of making $10,000 a month on Amazon seem like itsy bitsy weenie compared to the same power that rose Christ from the dead? That lives in you. And if you're watching this hangout and your spirit's jumping right now, that's because this is the kind of faith and fuel you need to be putting into your mind every single day. So two quick verses, Zach, and then we're going to probably have to button this up, maybe save this for a part 2. We're at the top of the hour. I just did a quick search on openbible.info on what the Scripture says about abundance. And 2 verses came up. The first one was John 10:10. And I forget which version this is, but it says, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and have it abundantly." Okay? Straight from the King of the universe, that you may have life and have it abundantly. And here's another verse I found, and we could probably do this all day, Zach, just go through and see what Scripture says about abundance. I believe that God put us here to experience abundance, not just abundance of finances. Obviously, that's just the tip of the iceberg, but a richness of life, a richness with relationships. And that's why we started this group, right? The whole purpose isn't for you to spend all your time on Amazon. It's to bust through that conversation, your whatever kind of time conversation and money. Usually it's those 2 things. Those are the 2 key limiting beliefs for most people. That way you can be with your family and do the stuff that's important, experience the richness that life has. So one more verse, and again, Zach and I are just sharing from the heart some things that have been helpful. This is from Proverbs 3, 9, and 10. And it says, honor the Lord with your wealth and with the best part of everything you produce. Then He will fill your barns with grain and your vats will overflow with good wine. So this is a little bit deeper topic, talking about giving, and you can kind of test the Lord on that. I've never been able to outgive the Lord. Zach, I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but what do you, what's stirring up in you when we talk about, a lot of times people that have a belief, a belief is just what you think about yourself. And the reality is that's just what you're creating. It's like a lens. It's the way that you look through life. So what a better question that you can maybe start asking yourself if you're in that process of that transformation process from scarcity to abundance is, what does the Lord think about me? If you're really made in the image of God, the same power that rose Christ from the dead, what are you capable of? And maybe your problems will look a little bit smaller with that perspective, right? Because God doesn't need your money. right? He created the entire universe. If you needed a reminder in abundance, just go out in nature today and take a look at the grass, right? I mean, nature is full of abundance. Everything in nature is abundant. Go to the Great Barrier Reef and there's just fish everywhere, right? Go to the fields. If you live in the Midwest, look at all the corn, right? It doesn't grow in scarcity. The only scarcity that exists is between your two ears. So, Zach, anything you want to piggyback on with maybe some things that Scripture spoke to you or things that you've learned about the nature of God and this whole topic of abundance?
Yeah. Well, no, I agree. I mean, you hit the nail on the head of he came to give life and that more abundant. I mean, you know, and it's not just like physically too, like I mean, people who don't know God can have success too, you know, materialistically, they can make a lot of money and all that. So like, you know, we believe that God's the giver of all good things. He's given us the gifts. Like, you know, we give him praise and credit for you know, all that we have. You know, to me, it's also like internally, like just the peace and the spiritual blessings and gifts that you have, you know, is well that, you know, he can impart into you and just give you that mindset of abundance and clarity and so on and so forth. So yeah, I mean, like you said, just having a big vision, you know, is huge. I'm sorry, my cat just like came in here and started pawing my little ape dent.
We'll have him pop up that little repeat of our. Yeah, there he goes. There he goes. Right there.
All right.
Yeah,
but,
well, hey man, we're at the top of the hour. Oh, I know you're going to
questions real quick. There were just a few more questions because we told people who show up you got Q&A, so we can hammer through just a few of these real quick if you think we got time.
Let's do it.
Okay. Okay, so we had someone ask, are you going to do anything about members who don't like to share the buy box and consistently drive the price down? Will you have a list available of our store names? That is a great question. And really, you know, all that we can do is we can encourage people to not do that. It's illegal, unfortunately. Like, we can't tell everyone, look, you can only buy this if you stay at this price. Like, if we were a manufacturer, you like minimum advertised price, like your MAP, and manufactured suggested retail price, like you have to stay on, like you're selling our products. Like if I was a manufacturer, like if we're just sourcing stuff from other places and like 5 members go in on it, you know, we can't say, hey, look, everyone's got to stay at $40. And like, you can't message people on Amazon saying, hey, look, you know, silly, why are you selling that for $30 when we were selling just as many for $40? You know, so unfortunately you can't do, I mean, what you can do is people not to drive the price down and just try to open up their eyes. But I really, you know, I don't think we're going to like be sharing store names, because we don't want people like going through other people's stores and inventory. And like, you know, we don't want members getting messaged. Like, we'll just, you know, ask people in a good spirit to try not to, you know, just to keep other people in mind and not try to kill the price. I mean, everybody has different business models and goals. Some people don't mind being priced a little higher and some competition to thin out, making higher profit margins. Some think they have to win the buy box and they just want to run through their inventory as fast as they can and make as much profit as they can as fast as they can and get out of the deal. So that's the best I can tell you on that. Another question, someone asked, is the group open to invite people into? Yes, I've actually had people message me frequently asking, hey, Zach, can we invite anyone into the group? Because, you know, a lot of existing the group used to be closed, and to where, you know, we weren't having anyone else come in, but now we have it opened up. So what you can do, we'll provide a link in the group too, but it's basically Income Story. So INCOME Story, STORY.com. It's an interview that Gabe and I did on my experience selling on Amazon. We did just a really informal Q&A session, the group a little bit. And so you can give people a link to that. And then if they would like to join and be a part of this community and the awesome things you're experiencing, they can join through that. So did anyone else have any other questions? Gabe, while we're seeing if any other questions pop up, did you have anything?
Yeah, I didn't see. I saw some good comment in here. Leslie had some good comments about going to local markets to source products in different places. So, and I'm glad you put that, Leslie, because that's just, again, that's the abundant mindset. So if you got a question, what do we do about racing to the bottom? I wanted you to check that. That's a scarcity conversation. So ask yourself, how could I look abundantly at this same situation? Just go wide, go find some more products, and don't worry about if you're competing with a couple of competition. I learned this a long time in business, that competition is a great thing. If there weren't other competitors in the market, it means that the market isn't making any money. So and this is like the cardinal rule of internet marketing, when anytime you go into a new market, if you're the only one there selling stuff, that's a problem. Because chances are that you're in a ghost town, you're in a market where it's not profitable. So you want to have competition, and you got to start looking at your competition as outside of the Amazon world, it's competition to collaborate. So how can you collaborate with your competitors? But on Amazon, so what if you got competition? That means that people are making money. That's a good thing. Go wide, go be abundant, go find another 20, take that same energy, take the next 2 hours that you would have fret and sat and worried about stuff, and pour that into going and sourcing the next 5 deals. You could just outpace that conversation. So these are all great conversations. And just to put a bow tie on this conversation, Zach, the 3 things you mentioned, we wanted to, topic for today on Earth Day of all days, this conversation of abundance. 3 ways to shift it. 1, get clear on what you want. Get clear on what you want. Write it down. Write out a vision of what you want your life to look like. What car are you driving? How much money do you have in the bank? How much money are you giving? And get crystal clear on where you're going. Number 2 is input good stuff, right? Listen to stuff like this. Pour in the abundant conversation. Go meditate on scripture yourself. Go do a search for what does scripture say about abundance. I've noticed that there's power in the word of God, and it speaks to you, and it speaks to you different ways and different people differently. So get into the word and let that stuff soak in your soul. And the 3rd thing is just to eliminate the negativity. So, Zan, we don't need to talk too much about this, but if you got some negative folks in your life, it's time for a little friend haircut, okay? Doesn't mean you got to be mean to them, right? You still love those people. We still love them. We're just not hanging out with them because your time is valuable. And I don't know, how you price your time, but you got to start asking yourself, is me hanging out with this person worth $1,000 an hour? If the people that you're surrounding yourself with, if their time and your time is not worth $1,000 an hour, I would use that as a barometer, then cut those people out of your life. It just means you don't have to hang out with them. So that's going to set you up for the best path of success. And what typically happens, the reason we get these beliefs is, average American watches like 4 hours of TV per day, straight to the subconscious mind. You go to the water cooler at workout, you're hanging out with Broke Jimmy and Broke Jane, and they're complaining about what was on The Bachelor last night, right? So that's 2 more hours, 6 hours of negativity. You come home, you do about 15 minutes of personal development. You're trying to combat 6 hours of negativity from the news and everything else with 6 minutes, or maybe even you watch this whole webinar, you got an hour in. You got to find a way to flip those scales. You got to cut out everything that's not serving you and build that empowering support system. If that means re-enrolling your wife in your business, maybe take your new vision that you create and go share that with your wife or your husband and get a renewed sense of buy-in. Surround yourself with people at this group. So, Zach, that's all I got, man. I care about you guys in the group. I want you guys to have success. And
absolutely. It's good stuff,
words, man.
Yeah, that was awesome. Another quick question. Jeff Lance and Leslie made a good suggestion on what in the file section, guys. We will make a resource, just like a list of books that Gabe and I have read, and any other members in the group that have read really good books that have helped them, achieve a mental breakthrough or help them have more of an abundant mindset. We can post those resources in the group so people, can have access to those and go through them if they'd like. So yeah, that's great. We'll just cover that in there. And be the person that sees the success around you, the abundance around you, and that says, if they can do it, I can do it. Just be that person. And that's what I do. Be Colonel Sanders, the guy that we were talking about this the other day. I won't keep going on because I talk about this all day. But the Colonel didn't get his famous recipe published till he was in his 60s. So that just inspires me. So like if we got retirees up in this group, it's never too late for everyone to keep chasing your dreams, for seeing people around you succeeding, for just having the mindset they're abundant. That's awesome. Cheer them on. Just if they can do it, I can do it. And just don't be a victim. Just be a victor. We're here to have an awesome support team inside of this community that we want nothing but the best for you. And we might not always tell you what you want to hear. Like I'm sure some of the stuff we shared on this webinar, might not be pleasant, but like we'll tell you what you need to hear, because you know, people that care for you tell you what you need to hear. You know, they tell you in a loving way. Like there's sometimes people give me constructive words and feedback even in the group. Like, you know, Gabe feeds my ear with, you know, look, dude, you know, some of these things are like 2 and 3 hours long, and how people digest all that. And I'm like, just be quiet, you know. No, really, you know, he's right. Like, you know, and that kind of hits a point. Like our big extensive, like 20 videos I did, they're like 2 or 3 hours each. Like we're going to have an abridged version for people that just want the bullet points, the highlights. They want to fly through the stuff. That's going to be a development in the works over time. And then we'll have the long one, because I have had feedback where people are like, we just want more. We watch every one of them for 2 or 3 hours straight. And, you know, we just want more information. So anyway, we could keep going on and on, man. But yeah, we might need to do a part 2 later. But just have an abundant mindset. Just be positive. Get clear on your visions. Get clear on your goals. You got an awesome support team. Tap into the group. If you know, you give you like a virtual high five, I'll like post a high five picture in the group every day. We are your cheerleaders. So you can do it. So anyway, that's all I got, Gabe. Thank you all for coming on. We appreciate your time. I hope you got a lot of value out of this. This should be available live again shortly. People will just be able to click on the link in the group, and you can rewatch this anytime. So appreciate you all.
That's it, man. All right. Appreciate you too, guys. Have a rocking day. Zach, we'll catch you soon, man.
Sounds good. See ya.